let's check this out. 3 teens shot at rented house party in West Harris County.
Good evening, I'm Tom Cisco. We are glad to have you with us. We begin tonight with a homecoming after party in Katy that ended in violence overnight. 3 teens were shot at the gathering inside a short-term rental.
So we got a homecoming after party.
Fox 26's Shelby Rose reports.
Solo cups, shoes, and other belongings litter this home in a quiet subdivision in Katy. Neighbors noticing a large party Saturday night filled with teenagers.
They were in the backyard. You could see with the door wide open that the house itself was full. And
typical for Texas after parties with adolescents, teens, high school or college. Very typical.
Knew that the house had been empty, so I called 911. I thought maybe they had just broke into the house.
The home on Bridge Meadow was rented for.
So it's an interesting thing. I mean, he sees this epic party happening. He makes the choice upon himself to call 911, assuming that the house was broke in. I'm not sure what to think about that just yet, but we'll keep playing.
Peyto High School homecoming after party. The Harris County Sheriff's Office.
Now, clearly, if after gunshots, then yeah, but it's kind of hard to make that assumption because these type of parties are a common occurrence, especially in Texas, irregardless of demographic or location.
This estimates 200 people were there. And just past 11, while Schinnebarger was still on the phone with 911.
So this is over 200 people at this homecoming party. You know, I'm pretty sure they didn't go there to study or talk about future plans.
The unthinkable happened.
When I was talking to the operator, I heard gunshots. There was about 6 shots.
Officials say 3 teenage boys.
So this is supposed to be a homecoming party. Why would there need to be guns? It tells you what type of people were invited or were told to go to this party. This is why you don't want your children going to these things. I don't know, for some reason in our culture, this is like a rites of passage for you to go to these parties. But too many people, I mean, case after case, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter what state you're in. This always happens. Either a teen is getting drugged, sexually abused, etc., or someone's getting shot. And in Texas, common occurrence.
Boys were shot, a 17-year-old and 2 18-year-olds.
17-year-old and 2 18-year-olds. That tells you kind of who was all there. And somehow these kids got access to guns.
Are in stable condition. And so far,
they're lucky they are in stable condition.
No arrests have been made.
Things like this keep happening, and now that's getting this close to home, I'm very uncomfortable with that. You know what I mean? I don't like that. It's my house. It's my comfort area.
The sheriff's office originally.
Yeah, I agree with him there. I mean, but I mean, you should get worried when it's not around you. If it's just, I mean, a city away.
Reported the house was rented as an Airbnb, but the company says they do not have that listing. We were able to.
Company says we do not have that listing, but this was rented out as an Airbnb. Some of that's very suspicious, but we can only go with the details that's given at the moment.
Speak with the owner of the home, who says it was a private transaction and he had no idea a party was in the works.
So there's a private transaction. Who knows who set up this transaction? Assumingly the kids. Could have been the parents, as I'll talk about later. But this guy is allegedly clueless about this possible event here.
So you would have never allowed a party to happen?
God forbid. Nah, not that kind of party. If I've done party before, but not in this house too. 200 or what you just said? No.
Regardless how the home was rented out, Schinnebarger says it should have never happened in the first place.
It's just crazy.
I don't know what has to be registered for an Airbnb. That's something that I'd have to look up and research.
It's insane. But, this Airbnb stuff for short-term rentals, that's just crazy to let that go on. They need to stop it.
And if anyone has information that could lead to an arrest, you're urged to call Crime Stoppers. Reporting in
probably not going to happen because nobody wants to be a snitch. It's not shocking, having lived in Texas before, that this has happened. This is nothing new here. It's not Airbnb. Do not place the blame or problem on Airbnb. High school, college campuses have been doing this for almost a century now. High schools, parents of the students and coaches. They've known about these parties that have been going on for a long time. This is nothing new, and it's still accepted and allowed. Only thing I can think of, it's some weird rite of passage that people are okay with. Case in point, got this other video to pull up to show you just how common this is. This is I give you a background. This was back in 2017. 16-year-old Savannah joined other students, including Cameron Harrison, a football star, at a party for a student's birthday.
And guess who she knows? Cameron Harrison, that high school football star. They pregame at his house. The two girls taking this pic in his room.
So we're pre-gaming at the house, and they're taking pictures in, I think they said his room. In his room.
Cracker, like just a fireball, like just.
It's lucky she said that, because if anybody else would have said that, that could have went the wrong way.
Kind of crazy.
And speaking of fireball, the booze.
Here we
brought
go.
By the kids, flowing freely later that night. At this ordinary 2-story, 4-bedroom, mustard-colored house overlooking the Timber Creek golf course. Now, packed like a nightclub.
So how many people were at the party?
Probably 40 at one point.
Common occurrence. And this is just like one incident in thousands, probably millions by now.
The birthday boy's 58-year-old grandmother was home. But watching.
Let me play that again so you can hear who was at the house when this was happening.
At 41, the birthday boy's 58-year-old grandmother was home, but watching TV.
His 58-year-old grandmother was in the house while they were having this party. Drinks, probably other types of narcotics was happening there, probably various types of sexual activity. This is how this has been placed as a norm. And we want to sit here and pretend as if, we really care about this, but we actually don't. And I really wish people would stop lying to themselves. We live in a hedonistic society where this type of behavior is condoned and praised in music and entertainment. We then like to act shocked when violence or deviance break out in these uncontrolled parties. Airbnb is not the problem. It is a culture and societal accepted rites of passage as far as I'm concerned. So luckily for these two teens, or the 3 teens that were shot there, however many, luckily for these teens, they didn't die. But these are just my thoughts. At the end of the day, these are just the ramblings of a madman.